Hey there, movie fans! Welcome to the haul of January 2023. Gonna show you my first pickups of the new year, and I like to start with Nightmare at Noon, put out by Arrow Video. This is a sort of a remake to Mutant from 1984, also with Bo Hopkins and Wings Hauser. They pretty much play the same characters, although in Mutant they play brothers, and in this one they're strangers. But the story of both movies is the same. But while Mutant is a small horror film reminiscent to Night of the Living Dead, Nightmare at Noon is more of an action movie, and it's my first introduction to Nico Mastorakis. I've never seen a movie of his before. I've never seen Island of Dead or Hired to Kill or The Zero Boys. Let me know below if they're worth checking out. But this was a fun movie that ends with a spectacular helicopter chase against the backdrop of the Arches National Park in Utah, where John Ford shot a few of his westerns. But it also stars George Kennedy and Brian James, two actors I've always been a fan of. Here's a quick look at the booklet. There's Brian James playing the albino villain. Yeah, it's a fun movie. I quite enjoyed it. Nightmare at Noon. Next is The Hunchback of Notre, and this is a very nice release from Eureka. When you look at this artwork, the artwork alone is worth getting this Blu-ray. It has a different artwork on the inside, which is always very nice. Yeah, that is absolutely great. But this is the silent classic from 1923, 100 years old now, with the great Lon Chaney, who is probably, the best actor of the silent era. He already kind of used the method technique before it was introduced in the United States, and I'm ashamed to admit it, but I've only seen two films of his, this one and Phantom of the Opera. I really need to check out more of his work, like The Penalty, for example, in which he plays a vicious, legless, crippled criminal. And it shows how incredibly committed Chaney was to his profession. In order to convince the audience he had no legs, he wore an apparatus that consisted of two wooden buckets and multiple leather straps. His knees sat in the buckets, while his lower legs were tied back to his upper legs, and it was incredibly painful for him, which you can imagine. But that's how committed he was. He went that far to deliver a convincing and authentic performance. I don't see De Niro or Pacino or even Christian Bale doing something like that. It's easy for an actor to lose weight or to gain weight, but to tie your lower legs back, no actor in his right mind would do that, especially nowadays where they can digitally amputate body parts. But Lon Chaney was a brilliant actor. He was one of a kind, absolutely. I picked up Terrifier 2, and I absolutely liked it. But I liked the first Terrifier a little more, though. I thought the first one was funnier and it had a proper running time. This one is an hour longer, and yet it didn't feel too long to me. I mean, there wasn't a scene that should have been cut out or shortened or anything like that. But the problem is that Damien Leone wanted to create a character-driven story because he regretted that the characters in the first movie was not fleshed out enough, and that wasn't necessary. I mean, it's a slasher movie. You know, slasher movies doesn't really need character development. And despite being 2 hours and what is it? 139, 2 hours and 19 minutes, it still feels like it wasn't developed enough. I.e., the heroine's background story. There were some unanswered questions, especially about her father. But perhaps we get to see that in Terrifier 3, which of course is going to happen. I mean, Terrifier 2 cost $250,000 to make, and it grossed over $10 million in the United States alone. So obviously they're going to do another one, and most likely 4 and 5 and 6 and on and on. And why not? I mean, Art the Clown is definitely franchise material. He's the best horror antagonist I've seen in years. But anyway, you know, Terrifier 2 should have been like the first movie, just a tight 80-minute, full-on, full-blooded slasher movie. Nevertheless, I do appreciate what Damien Leone wanted to do, and I enjoyed it for what it was, you know. And the practical makeup effects are very impressive, especially for a low-budget movie. But yeah, I liked it. Terrifier 2. Next is Big Time Gambling Boss. This is about the Yakuza that has chosen a new boss after the old one fell ill, and it causes tension within the organization because some does not agree with the choice of this new boss. But this is an enthralling piece of Japanese cinema, and truly one of the best Yakuza films I have seen, with terrific performances by Koji Chiruta and Tomishaburo Wakayama, who is also in the brilliant Lone Wolf and Cub film series. Written by Kazuo Kasahara, who also penned Battles Without Honor and Humanity, you know, Kinji Fukasaku's excellent Yakuza saga. And it was directed by Kosoku Yamashita, who was a very busy man. You know, he made a lot of films in a short period of time. Big Time Gambling Boss is one of the 8 productions that he directed that came out in the same year, in 1968, according to IMDb anyway. But this was put out by a new label called Radiance Films, and the founder of this label is Francesco Simeoni, who used to work for Arrow Video for more than 10 years. And this is a promising new label that is primarily focused on world cinema. And there are a few titles that I have my eye on. I've already pre-ordered the Cosa Nostra box set, which includes 3 Italian mafia films with Franco Nero. So I'm definitely looking forward to what else this label is going to release. Yeah. I picked up The English, a Western miniseries that was recommended to me by Carlos, Mr. Eastwood for Life fan, and I thought it was really, really good. A little too talkative at times, but very well written nonetheless. And visually it looks amazing. It was filmed in Spain, where they shot most of the spaghetti westerns. It does have a spaghetti western look to it, especially the opening credits. But Emily Blunt was fantastic. And Chesky Spencer, an actor I've never heard of before, he was great as the retired Pawnee scout who joins Emily Blunt's character in her quest for revenge. Yeah, there are solid performances throughout, except Rafe Spall, whose performance was very close to a Tom Hardy impersonation. I mean, his characteristics, his accent, the way he delivered his lines, the way he looked, everything reminded me of Tom Hardy. And he did it pretty well, but it was distracting. You know, it distracted me from the rest of the series. Every time he's on screen, it's hard to take him seriously, you know. But despite of that, it is an excellent miniseries. So thank you, Carlos, for the recommendation. And speaking of Carlos, he also helped me out getting these two wonderful box sets. Ju-On the Grudge collection and the Mad Max Anthology on 4K. Here is the note that came with it. Hi Donnie, hoping this package gets to you damage free and with no delays. I've packed it with plenty of bubble wrap for the journey. Well, you certainly did. Your Ju-On Grudge collection set and Mad Max 4K movie set, which was a bargain. Enjoy the movies, friend. Glad to help. Carlos, Eastwood for Life fan. Well, thank you very much, as always, for your help, Carlos, because these are two really wonderful box sets. Ju-On, you know, I've been hoping that Arrow Video was going to do a box set of this, because they did the same before with the Ringu films and the One Missed Call trilogy, for example. So I was really hoping they would go to release the Ju-On films, and sure enough, they did. So, yeah, very, very happy with that. Also has a poster inside and a little booklet there. But anyway, this is Ju-On the Curse 1 and 2, which I've never seen. These are two straight-to-video films that, you know, pretty much started the Ju-On franchise. And here is the alternate artwork, by the way, and it also has some picture card there. Yeah, that looks very nice. Then here is Ju-On the Grudge, the first one, which I've seen. You know, it's a, you know, effectively creepy film. It has both the Blu-ray and the 4K HD, or Ultra HD, I should say. There's some more picture cards here. But yeah, Ju-On the Grudge 1 and 2 are the only films I've seen of this set, so I'm looking forward to watching those other films. This is The Grudge 2. Look at that. Ugh. Yeah, that is very nice. And then here we have, I guess you can call them companion pieces to, you know, the previous films. Ju-On White Ghost and Black Ghost. They're not so long, by the way. They're just, you know, 61 minutes each. Again, with an alternative artwork there, and picture cards. Yeah, that is a great release here of Ju-On, the Grudge collection. And now here is the Mad Max Anthology, which is the updated release. You know, the previous release has some issues, some audio issues, I believe. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, big fan of the Mad Max films. Of course, here he is, the original. And then this is Mad Max 2, or the Road Warrior. Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. And of course Fury Road, which also includes the black and chrome version. You know, in stunning, visually stunning black and white, and it looks really stunning, the black and white version, or the black and chrome version. Even though I do prefer the original color version, you really need to check out the black and white version. It looks amazing. But if I had to do a ranking of the Mad Max films, then Road Warrior is my #1 favorite, you know, and then #2 is the original. #3 is Fury Road, and #4 is Thunderdome. Yeah, this is my least favorite, but it doesn't mean that I don't like it. I still like it very much. But you know, of all the Mad Max films, this is my least favorite. But yeah, thank you very much, Carlos, for helping me out again, getting these wonderful box sets. Yeah, very nice. Anyway, that is it for my January haul of 2023. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.